Testing.
Have you
two.
got the link?
I've got the link to the game and to the Sirenscape if you wish them both.
No, to the stream.
Stream.
Oh. Hang on.
Sounds like somebody's already ahead of me.
Oh, no, not that. Well, thank you very much, Liz. But the link to the stream.
The Twitch stream.
As in the Twitch
Oh.
Twitch stream.
Getting it to
Yes.
you now.
I said I was gonna. Thank you very much.
No problem. Bearing in mind, though, watching the stream for you as a player is possibly not the best idea because.
Somebody wants to watch it.
Okay,
Somebody I know
That's fine.
wants to watch it. I am.
That's
How do I select another character?
usually just by clicking on them. Everybody should have access to everybody else's character.
I'm just reconfiguring my user where it's like where it says Doctor or Trasa. No. Okay, maybe. Oh, I can only technically have one at a time. Okay.
Oh yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, it'll just pick up the one that you've got currently, or at least it should. It should.
Oh God.
Not really, but thanks for noticing.
I'm trying not to sneeze.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, if the sound suddenly dies, it's because there was an apocalyptic explosion thanks to Dave's nose. Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys.
You killed the sound! We're just waiting for a Connie monster, and then we'll get this ship warping. Speak of the sheep.
Connie's just jumping in now.
Whoa!
Time to cause chaos.
Exactly.
You mean it's Sunday? Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, we are without our chief security officer, because he's doing a table reading. So he's a busy boy with his acting stuff at the moment, so we're just going to have to hold that against him when he becomes rich and famous. So, jealousy, that's all this is.
That's damn right it is.
So, just give Connie a chance to log into everything. She's in here at the moment. Everybody who wants to listen to Sirenscape can hear it. Excellent. Okay. So what we will do then is, as per usual, I will turn off the ship rumble, and I will take away our intro tinkle for just a couple of moments as I get us through the intro video, and we'll see you on the other side of that. Don't go away, folks. Hello, folks. Welcome along to the continuing adventures of the USS Combs. I'm MJ the GM, and I will be your games master for the next couple of hours. And with me are the majority of the Combs crew. as we already mentioned, our Chief Security Officer is currently off doing his acting gig. So we wish him all the best of luck with whatever he's doing at the moment. Until that time that he returns to us, we shall have everybody else on board filling in. And speaking of filling in, of course, we've entered into a bit of an interesting time now with our story, thanks to the Combs' former first officer going off to her people, the Klingons, during this rather interesting time in the story, as the Klingons and Federation are now at war. So as a result, Liz, rather than not have a character to play or pick up one of the supporting characters, has actually made us a brand new character, which kind of also simultaneously solves the issue with what the mix-up of the Combs' command structure now looks like after Trasa has gone for however long. So, with Liz's new character, Ensign Madeleine Bonnet, who has a good deal of talent in the con area, we shall be flinging her onto Helm Officer role, and therefore the Combs' previous Helm Officer will be taking the First Officer position. Which
is she like French or Picard French?
Well, Liz?
Wait, I thought Picard was French.
Well,
He was, well, you know.
Ooh.
it's
Okay, he was from France, wasn't he?
he was from
He
France. However, it's not as if
He's the most
Patrick
British
Stewart went out of
Frenchman.
his way to. Yeah, exactly. There was a long-running gag, I believe, from most of us British folk that obviously at some point in the future France gets invaded by Britain and conquered, and therefore the French
You
language
mean again?
goes away and it's populated by nothing but English people. So,
No.
I mean, it's entirely up to you how you think Madeleine Bonnet, because she could just as easily be Canadian, to be honest, so...
It's the happy medium.
I mean, I also chose Frontier world or colony, so.
So, in all likelihood, she's got a frontier accent. So there you go. Depends who she was hanging around the most.
And I thought Tavish would get a kick out of this. If it ain't broken, improve it anyways.
I don't like this. I don't like this new person.
Too French.
Yeah. No. Well.
Oh,
She's
Liz,
not-
what have you
she's not-
done?
She has not proven herself in Tavish's eyes.
Also, one of the focuses is artificial intelligence systems.
Hey, no.
Hands
Moving
off
on
my
to your
brain.
You stay away from my brain.
Well, I think we're off to a suitably chaotic start, so I think Madeleine's going to fit in exactly as necessary.
We're all just picking on the ensign.
Oh, also, where's the other one I had?
What are we looking at?
Oh, a true pilot trusts their instincts. I thought I had Fast and Furious in one of them.
Hey, if you want to switch it to Fast and Furious, then you know, we've only
We'll switch this one. We'll switch
only
this
just started, so like my usual rule with most starting characters, if you feel something feels off or something would fit better, then I'm fine with you switching it out after testing, as it were. No problems there.
Yep, nope, she's Fast and Furious for her value.
There we are. I see it. Cool.
Fast and Furious.
The Fasty and the Furious. Sorry.
Oh, Liz, what have you done?
Le Fast, Le Furious.
I apologise to any and all of our French viewers at this present moment in time.
I'm so sorry. I'm just so sorry.
Liar.
It's just a bit of cross-channel banter, you know. It's all in good fun.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I love you, really.
yeah. We love you.
Is it wrong that I really wanted to jump in with we love you, especially when you're running away? See, this happened to me now. It's come across distances and it infused my brain. I blame them. I'm very sorry.
That's how the 100 Years' War started. You blaming them.
That's actually how World War III, because it turns out that Khan was actually French. Even though Ricardo Montalban was, Spanish or something. I know. Anyway, before I get into even more trouble with my international folks... Dear God. Somebody send help. Before we get onto that, I just want to throw a quick plug for our missing security officer, because he still has other bits of work out, as we can see. His one of his last pieces of work was Chapter 5 of Legends of Campione. So be sure to check that out when you get the opportunity to. And, Chris, as per usual,
Hello.
plug away.
Yeah, so I've got my my YouTube channel, Yet a Crisp, where I do sort of like what are supposed to be fun, like retro reviews of games I really like. I'm prone to doing quite a few stupid accents there, not just the French, in the interest of equality. And I spent a lot of yesterday actually editing my next Yakuza video, so like it's coming along. There will be something soonish, TM maybe. But yeah, that's me.
Rock and roll. Okay. Nice. Well then. Badoop, badoop, badoop. Let's crack on. First things first, science projects. Now, because we've not got Trasa on the crew at the moment, sadly that means that training the Muragar is going to have to wait till we get back to our Klingon crew. Which I hasten to note, these guys obviously had far too much fun as. So we're going to have to find some more ways of squeezing that Klingon crew into things as time goes on, methinks. Plus, because Mr. Bell is not here to beat Garrow, that means that Lieutenant Garrow's science project for the energy siphon weapon is going to have to hold off for the time being. So until then, we've only got 2 science projects that we've really got running at the moment, one of which was Gerkow's super soldier serum, and Phlesk's AI repair droids for the ship. So let's throw things over to Deck 1, where we've got all of our supporting characters. And a visual...
Are you able to see the talents?
Go on, sorry?
Yes, I am. Sorry.
Okay.
So, Liz is just showing me some talents. I've asked her to look. Sorry.
That's quite alright, so as we can see, the visual shake-up has now occurred. So we've got Lian Zhang as first officer now, and replacing her at the helm is Liz's new character, Madeleine Bonnet. To go with our other French character on the crew, Beatrice Dufresne of Stellar Cartography. So here we are. So we are going to Gerkow's super soldier, or at the very least the adrenal booster serum. So who do you want to help? Well, probably it helps if I tell where we are. We are currently looking at xenobiology as the avenue of investigation currently, and we're almost at the finish line with some very promising looking test results. So it's now all about making it to the finish line.
My boy Enegrin Uro has got xenobiology.
He does indeed.
We're gonna get that Uro.
So part of the medical posse was going to be working with Gerkow for this. Anybody else, or just Uro? Since we are very close to the end here, so...
I think just Uro will be fine here.
Alright, so Chris, if you want to be Uro then.
Sure.
Uro is going to be giving us reason and medicine with the focus on xenobiology. It's going to be reason and science.
Cool. Was I assisting someone else or myself?
Assisting, I believe. Uro's assisting Gerkow.
1 dice.
Spadoik, 1 success. And 2 more successes, which means you have successfully completed the trial runs of your adrenal booster, and it looks like you got it to work.
Huzzah.
So that is now an option for you guys. So I'm going to have to put that in under equipment. Now, does it go under medical devices? Because it's technically a medical device, although it probably goes under drugs.
I guess, you know, it is a bit of both. We could say it's a medical device for when someone gets hurt, but if you want that bit of boost...
Now, here's another question for you. What would you like to call it?
Oh.
I can't serum.
Arn serum, yeah. Because that doesn't have connotations one way or the other, either.
I just put that name out the air. I don't know what you're talking about.
What
Why don't you come back to me with that? If,
Okay. What did Mbenga call it originally?
Did they have a name? Was it just like, oh, the serum?
It was like Protocol 15 or something.
Mabenga's anti-Klingon juice.
Yes. What, tea? Okay. Let's just call it Gerkow Adrenal Booster for now, and we'll leave it at that. It'll do as an item for the time being. So, I will go away and have a good old think about what this means, but it's a now proven safe. Safe with a little annotation next to it. So this is probably going to come under Dr. Sott's purview of when it's safe to administer to somebody, but it's now there in the ship's inventory of items that can be used and taken on missions. So, well, hey, another science bit completed, which means we are now on to Phlesk's repair droids. Now, where were we? We were looking at ancient power sources as our current avenue of investigation.
Yep. I was hoping I could recruit Tavish to assist.
Yeah, well, as other Chris is not here, I am free to help.
Awesome sauce. I'm also going to use a Star Cross. So, because I'm using a focus in power systems, it will double the range.
Nice, nice, nice. So Phlesc is now going for a 10 and under to be a double success. Burrito. So if Tavish is assisting this, then it's going to be reason and engineering. We are going for ancient... now that's a point. An ancient power source. And because Tavish has got historical engineering... Okay, there's a C in historical. It's me not typing correctly. I can't even spell it now. No, I did spell it right. Sorry, I haven't had my coffee yet.
That Nebula's got coffee.
Which is possibly my worst Kate Mulgrew impersonation ever. I apologise to Captain Janeway for that. She probably just had me demoted. Okay.
I mean, how would you think my character's an infant?
Cool. Reason and engineering.
Reason and engineering from them both. I mean, but Tavish will count any success she creates as double. Hello.
Parent figure.
Parent figure ignores that. Okay. Liz, if you want to take charge of Tavish as per usual, please. We will try for
Okay.
reason and engineering, but due to Tavish's trait, we'll jump an extra success on whichever one that she manages to produce.
I'm guessing no focuses?
No focuses currently, no.
Okay.
But she does have a true. Well, hello. Legion of Honor.
I'm using it before we even start.
We haven't even gotten started. It's fine, we're getting these bad rolls out of the way.
Oh, this looks like this is how this is gonna go.
Alright, so there's a moment in the science labs where Phlesc and Tavish are looking over the schematics and trying to mock up some kind of creation for this new repair droid, and it gets let off its chain, it starts roaming around on its own, it starts banging into walls, picks up a couple of items, runs people over, and eventually shorts out and causes a small fire in the science lab. However, it's all data that you can use, so
That doesn't sound like a failure.
no, it wasn't a failure.
Like a success No, that sounds like a success in Lily's eyes.
Well, yes, it didn't destroy the ship.
Destruction. Yeah.
So there we are. So you got some data.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
You got some data from that you can use, at least, about how much of a data load is too much for the wee chap. So yes, back to the drawing board a bit. But you've now got a couple of people who are looking at you with frowny eyes because you just ruined some of their experiments as well. But hey ho.
Oops.
They knew what they were in for when they allowed you in that science lab that morning.
Exactly.
And they're like, oh, Tav. I think if the second they saw Tavish, they would have
run out the room.
I feel like they would have looked at the list and like, oh, Phlesk's in this morning. Oh, that's nice. Hold on. What? He's got Tavish with her.
Defcon 4. Defcon 4.
It's like, move your projects out of here now!
Emergency force fields are in place. No, it's great. They put their faith in Phlesc to manage Tavish, and they were horribly disappointed this time.
Yeah.
So really, it's Phlesk's fault.
Yeah. I feel like it's Phlesk's fault.
It's a bit more work. We're not quite there. This is not repairing.
Okay.
But it is doing something.
Yes, it did do something. General chaos and destruction, but hey. It's a step in the right direction. You hope. In any case, so using some of the schematics and the technology that you got from some of the ancient tech that you've been finding may not have been blending terribly well with some of the cutting-edge Starfleet tech that you're used to using, so back to the drawing board a little bit on that one. However, alright then, moving us on. There was a question raised last time we were together, and I just want to take you guys on a little journey over to the items section on the right-hand side, where if we look in award talents, we can see that there are a couple of Klingon ones, and by a couple I mean two couples. A couple of a couple. So when I said that the list of Klingon awards from the Klingon core rulebook, first edition, was rather short, I really meant it, because there are only 4, and they all pretty much have an equivalent Starfleet award. So, as an example, Dahar Master is very similar to what we just used moments ago, the Star Cross. It costs a bit more, but it essentially does more or less the same thing, where you can any 2 successes, it keeps for twice your discipline. You get 2 successes for twice your discipline score rather than just under your discipline score. So, which, considering Dahar Master is a really huge one. Sorry, what?
Where are the Klingon talents, sir?
Can you not see them?
Do they have a... I can see character equipment, award talents, character weapons.
So under award talents, the folder,
Yep.
there should be lists of. Let me just make sure that they are configured.
They are in there. I can see the whatever you just said.
Okay, I can see Tahar Master,
Yeah, I see the dog.
Yep.
Order Kalis.
They obviously
Okay, cool.
need to be made to be a little bit better on the ownership stakes. Order of Kalis, or Carlis as I used to call it.
I know which one I'll probably be getting a lot of.
So the one you're actually after is Order of the Batleth. Because essentially that's Legion of Honor. Same cost, does exactly the same thing, so... in future Klingon episodes, rather than screaming out Legion of Honor, Legion of Honor, it's going to be Order of the Batleth.
Alright, let me just
So, yeah,
Do we have to say it in a Klingon voice?
if you can,
Order
then by
of
all
the
means.
Batleth.
Okay, so I have 2 Legion of Honor, so let me just change that out for Legion of Batleth, just for the pure funny of it.
I mean, I like the attempt at Klingon there, Dave, but it did sound like you were from South. This Klingon was from South London. So,
Order of the Batleth.
oh, it's my order of the Batleth.
Order of the Batleth.
Blah, Captain. Although I almost went West Country with that one, so I don't know what the hell accent I was drifting off into there.
Alright, is there one that's basically the Star Cross? Which one is the equivalent of Star Cross?
Have a look, there are only 4 of them, so it's pretty much like I said. If you do want to end up buying award talents for the Klingon characters as well, which we can take care of later, you are probably just as well served buying the established Starfleet-esque ones, and we'll just assume that they have an equivalent Klingon name to them. But I thought I would put those Klingon awards in there anyway, just as a point of illustration.
Matt,
So, yes.
Okay.
talking about talent, I have I think I have. What is it? I don't remember what it's called now. You put it last week. Where is it? I have one
right,
major.
milestones.
Yes, one major milestone.
2 of you did manage to get major milestones, yes, if not more.
I am looking to spend it already.
Well then.
I am probably going to scare the rest of the crew of this.
Again?
I did have a look. I did have a look at some of the engineering stuff, engineering talents. There was a couple which took my fancy, but it is actually from the cybernetics talents,
Yup.
Oh, I figured.
and I am looking to get neural interface.
Righty hosey. I think we're pretty much going towards that. If that's what you want to spend your major milestone on, then fine, fair and good.
Yes,
Are-
it means I can connect to the ship properly and properly help out with systems and stuff.
Okay. I can't possibly see that going wrong.
Oh, if the ship gets damaged,
Yes. Headache.
then yeah. Bang.
Migraines might very well be in your future. Right, so who
Well,
else got a major? We have Connie got herself a major, as did Chris got himself a major. So both of you have earned yourself major milestones if you want to use them. You don't have to use them right the heck now, but whilst we're on the subject.
I'm okay for now. Nothing really springs to mind as to... Is that shared across both characters? Sorry.
It's, yeah, the milestones I'm counting as personal to yourselves, the player. So that's
Right.
for you to spend on whatever you wish. I know technically in the rules as written it's per major character, but
Yeah.
considering due to circumstances we are splitting your attention across different characters, I'm fine with milestones being player.
Yeah.
held.
I think I'm okay for now, but it's nice to know I have it. But I'll find a use for it at some point.
Connie, you got any ideas what you would want to spend your major milestone on, or is it similar to Chris, you're just going to have to go away and have a look, see what you fancy?
I think I'll need to have a look. And, yeah.
Yep, it's there, it's banked, it's not going anywhere, so...
I've just been spending them at increasing attributes and disciplines mostly.
Which is exactly what you can do, of course. That's what they're there for. Alrighty.
Can I...
Don't worry. If we need to, Lily and Nylil can take over the ship. It's fine. We can do it now.
And if something gets messed up with them, we do have somebody who has artificial intelligence systems to fix it.
She knows how to set the reset button. What were you going to say, Connie? Nope.
Connie, I think you might be muted or something. I'm not really...
Yeah, I didn't hear that. Sorry, Connie. Hello?
Yeah, Connie, we're still not hearing you on the call.
We have lost your sound, I'm afraid. Oh, yes.
Hello?
Yes, I need to give you... Hello, that's better. Yay!
Okay. Just reset it. Could I spend glory now so I don't forget next time we play Klingon?
Absolutely, if you want to spend glory acclaim now. That's entirely your... if we're talking about your Klingon captain,
Yes.
that's fine and good. What did you have in mind to spend it on?
The Order of Christak.
Order of Phlesc, okay. So that is cost 2. Face a soon different situation and triumph. Yes, you did. Whenever you suffer stress, you can halve the amount of stress. Ha ha ha. Yes.
I'm going to be rushing ahead in a lot of situations, so I'm going to need it.
Alright then. Glory has been spent. You have gained the Order of Christak.
Yeah, for my Klingon character, I'm gonna get another Order of Batlift since I had 2 Legion of Honor.
Okay, yep, cool. You want another Legion of Honor? You can get another Legion of Honor, or as we now call it, Order of the Batleth.
I'm just currently changing. I just currently changed it to the Order of the Batlift. Now I got 3.
Nice. All right then. In case of 20, press here. Nice. That's fine. Anybody else got anything they want to do with their glory one from the Klingon episode last time?
Will it still be there when we next do
Yeah,
Klingon?
yeah. It'll still be there by the time we next meet the Klingons. So you don't have to do it right now.
Yeah, I'll wait.
Yeah, I'll wait.
Fine, fair and good. Okay. Anything else anybody else wants to try out before we get on with this episode?
I think I'm good.
I'm good.
I'm good.
Good.
I'm good.
You good. Okay. All right then. So, if we cast our minds back, the Combs was actually put on guard duty whilst every Federation citizen was asked to leave Narendra Station. with the bad blood now between the Federation and the Klingon Empire. The Klingons, who have apparently got more claim to, Starbase 364 than their Federation compatriots, or ex-compatriots now, as it turns out, have decided that you're not welcome on the station anymore, and so everybody has been told to pack up and leave. So, whilst our erstwhile first officer, Trasa, has been going off and dealing with Klingon-related issues, the Combs crew have in the meantime been sitting on sentry duty watching while folks are being evacuated from Narendra Station and escorted by Klingon ships through Klingon territory back out to the Federation's borders. So, with that in mind, let's have a read of Captain Sobek's log. Captain's log, stardate 49967.8. 24 hours have passed after the evacuation of all Federation personnel from Narendra Station was announced. With aid from civilian and merchant vessels, the evacuation has proceeded with no incident. All the while, the Combs has remained on station in case the Klingons try anything. The decline in crew morale has been steady, as the withdrawal of all Federation citizens from what has been our home for the last year or so. And so it is that we are now witnessing the departure of the last ships from Narendra Station, escorting Admiral Hebert and her staff from the base and the alliance that they had fought so hard to establish. So, it is that on the view screen you are given the image of the USS Hadrian is escorting a civilian craft, the Demeter, taking away the last remaining civilian staff from Narendra Station. You are now officially the last remaining Federation ship in orbit around Narendra Station. How are folks feeling about this?
I missed the bar.
It was a good
Lily is not showing anybody exactly how she feels, but she's making her engineering crew work a lot harder for some reason. I don't know why. There's a lot more hyperspanners being thrown at people.
So what we're saying is safety helmets and protective gear are now in use in the engineering section.
Yes.
Okay. And it's entirely possible that an entire civilian transport was needed to evacuate Phlesk's family from the...
And Phlesc has been doing some overtime just not to go home. Yes. There's too many arguments waiting when he gets back.
Alright. Interesting. So, whilst folks are just there busy processing their emotions as they're watching the last vessels pull away, there is a small computer alert as it is noted on the sensor scans that a Klingon ship is pulling into the station's orbit. It is a Vorchak-class attack cruiser. No, it is not the one that you piloted last time. This one has entirely different house insignia. This, I do believe, is the Hoover, which has got... where is it? Yes. I do believe it's the Hoover. Which has got a different house insignia. One that you don't immediately recognize, but nevertheless, a communication is coming in from the Klingon ship as they request basically to talk to you. requesting communications. So, the captain, acknowledging it, asks for hailing frequencies to be opened. A rather buff and gruff-looking Klingon, shocking I know, appears on the view screen. Greetings, I am General Varoth, of House Varoth. It is my honor to be the one to escort you, the last remaining Starfleet vessel, through our space back to the safety of the Federation. When you are ready to depart, send us a message and we shall escort you through Klingon space. We await your notification. Oh, Captain Sobek. At which point the captain just comes up from his momentary reverie. How may I help you, General? It would do my officers and I an honor if you would join us on board the Hoover. Join us for a meal. Last celebration of your duty here at Narendra Station. Captain Sobek just kind of looks around at the rest of you to judge whether or not you think you'd be up for such. So, do you want to join the Klingon general on his ship for the Klingon equivalent of
I think as long as they don't start quoting Shakespeare at us, we should be okay. Just thinking of that might be a very neat General Kang in Star Trek 6. Christopher Plummer's guy.
Good old Christopher Plummer. Sad that he's gone.
Mm-hmm. But that was a dinner, wasn't it? And then things went sideways from there.
Yes, that was a diplomatic dinner. This is merely a dinner invitation. So are you up for accepting it? Seems Dr. Sott is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Need to remain cordial and polite.
All right then. Captain Sobek seems to get the positive from you all and replies back, "We would be delighted to accept your offer, General. We will be ready to go underway in a few moments." And so the General just nods and the view screen goes off. And so it is that your new helm officer has to lay in a course for to follow the Hoover as you send the note that it is time to depart one last time from Narendra Station, with the hope that you will be back. In the meantime, the Klingons angle themselves ready for departure, and you basically just have to follow their heading. And off you go. So, bring us to the bridge. So then, everyone, of course, on the bridge is very quiet, as you might expect. You're saying goodbye to the home you've had now for the last year or so. So nobody is all that pleased to leave. The Vorcha cruiser, the Hoover, is remaining consistently in front of you, so your helm officer has to do very little except match the occasional course correction that the Hoover makes. Other than that, you are just kind of passing along through. So, are there any special preparations you'd like to make before you go and join the Klingons on board their ship for their little soiree?
Phlesc is just going to start stretching for the backdoor challenge.
Sounds like a euphemism. Just me? Okay. That's fine. Okay, so Phlesc is getting ready for anything and everything that might be coming their way. It seems a bit weird to be entertaining Klingons now without your former first officer, but you do have your Klingon house insignias, since you are technically adopted members of House Krell. So are folks wearing their house insignia as well as their well, are you wearing your dress uniforms, or are you just going smart casual with your regular uniforms?
Phlesc going to go in dress uniform with Starfleet comm badge on one side, Krell badge on the other, so it's nice and symmetrical.
Aha. There must be balance. Okay, so Phlesc is getting dressed up, and Captain Sobek is probably going to do similar, just to keep up appearances. What about the rest?
Lily's going to do the same.
Okay. Gerkow and Sott going to be going in dress uniform too, or?
Yeah, of course.
Gotta follow the captain.
Well, alright then. Now, technically, Ensign Madeleine Bonnet is not invited to this because she's a lowly ensign. Nevertheless, Lian Zhang will be going as well, because senior bridge crew. Excuse me. But rather than swing things to a different map, we can deal with it here. So, when you do transport over, let me just bring you General Varoth, so that you remember what he looks like. You beam over and you find a Klingon ship pretty much how you expect to find the Klingon ship. It's a Vorcha, so it's got a lot more going for it than anything like the Birds of Prey that you've been on, because the Vorcha have been in service a lot less time. They're not as brand spanking new as your ship, of course, but in relatively recent terms, the Vorcha was brought into service, so it's at least not got that very well-worn look that a lot of Klingon ships tend to have. But the first thing that happens when you step off the transporter pad is that one of the officers on the door, who are there just to be security on the door leading out of the transporter room, just stops one of you. Let's go for Phlesc. Just puts a hand on your chest just to stop you from moving, and then starts to fiddle with the badge insignia of House Krell. At which point he looks over at his fellow on the other side of the door, and they both share a look of very poorly disguised. What's the kindest word for this? Contempt between the two of them. But then the doors open, and what appears to be the first officer of the ship enters through, at which point the security Klingon takes his hand off of Phlesk's chest. General Varoth will see you now. You are to accompany me to the main dining chamber. Be right back, no problem, Chris. So, you are led through a number of corridors and whatnot, but the response from the Klingons, especially when they spy your house insignia, all seems to be the same. That of, you get snorts of derision, and you get occasionally, as you pass, they seem to share a joke, probably at your expense, as you go past. But it's not until you have eventually get drawn towards a large area with a very raucous sound coming from the opposite side of the door. It seems merriment is already well underway. So, you are invited in. So it's not quite like what you expect with your conference table. This is actually a long mess hall. There's a great big vat of blood wine on one side, and there's the heavy, heavy smell of cooking meat. As, yes indeed, Phlesk's highly tuned blood wine senses are tingling. As there's also a targ is being roasted over an actual open fire, and is being turned slowly on a spit. as General Varoth notices you enter and just throws his arms up. Ah, welcome, welcome. Please, please sit. There are flagons here for the blood wine, and when the targ is ready to be eaten, we shall be allowing everybody to tear a chunk away. Sit, sit. And so the evening starts off pretty much like you would expect. General Varoth and other Klingons are basically boasting about some of the battles they've been in, their own exploits. They ask you to basically do the same when the time arrives for you to get a word in. So I don't know if any of you want to share any particular stories with them or what.
Lily will.
Sure.
She will say that when there was the friendly contest before they left Narendra Station, she managed to take down 2 Klingons in engineering.
Yes, the computer challenge.
Yeah, the computer challenge. She will say, you know, they didn't get a chance.
Sorry, go on.
Yeah.
Okay, so when Tavish finishes her story, the rest of you are pretty much like, yeah, that was good. But the Klingons are almost completely silent. And they're all just passing a look that seems to ripple up the room until it gets to General Varoth, who just kind of... His mouth pulls up in a sneer. At which point he goes, "Well, I'm sure it was a dazzling victory against someone like the House of Akul." At which point there is a chuckle that ripples back the other way through the room. "Well, I'm sure they did their best with what they had to manage with, though. I'm sure it really was no challenge at all, but I'm sure it was a victory well worth winning."
Well, our honoured host, I'm sure that I could probably do the same with any of your engineering crew.
Well, yes, I'm sure you could beat them at games on a computer. And this just chuckle again just ripples through the room. A lot of it very much not flattering to yourself.
Lily has got one hand on the hyperspanner.
She brought the spanner with her. As of course she did.
She's hid in her uniform.
I almost pictured it like it was in a quick release holster for a second there, but okay, it's hidden.
It is. Yeah, it's a hidden quick release holder. She's ready.
Probably up her sleeve or something, like an Assassin's Creed hidden blade. Yeah.
It's just a hyperspanner.
Wow.
Phlesc, trying to deflect, starts seeing who wants to do the Batgirl challenge to try and diffuse the tension.
That's the arm wrestling challenge, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right, gotcha. At which point, once again, a good many looks pass between the Klingons, with a lot of scoffs going on. I'm sure we wouldn't want to injure you before the feasting starts. Wouldn't want to get your working arms tired or indeed sprained before you are able to taste the targ meat. Come.
No, how can I enjoy the blood wine without the Batgirl? How can I enjoy it? I understand you may have heard of my prowess on Narendra Station. And if you're too fearful of a lowly Starfleet officer, I understand.
Again, there's less of a kind of what you'd expect as that ripple of offence, maybe. There's more a lot of looks start going in General Varoth's a lot of knowing looks start going in General Varoth's direction. And he does pass his eyes quickly over his crew before he comes back with, "Why don't we hold off any such contests until we've had a chance to eat properly? Make sure we've got fire in our bellies first, huh? Besides which, I wanted to offer my condolences to all of you for having lost your first officer to this whole affair. Although I do hear she's doing reasonably well. Captain Sobek, it can't be easy losing a trusted officer." "Indeed not, General," Captain replies. "Still, it's all one can expect from a half-breed of a lowly house like herself. You should not have placed too many expectations on her." Captain Sobek at this comment kind of directs a look towards the lot of you, trying to gauge your responses before but even though it's very obvious, as some of you know him better than others, Sobek is very much weighing up how he's going to respond to this. Because he's usually the first to leap to the defense of his crew, but he's trying to do it in a Vulcan way.
Lily looks like she after that comment. With as you know, she knows little about Klingon culture, but that is taking offence at the house she is a part of. So Lily is trying not to get the hype spanner out.
Hey. So maybe Lian Zhang is just putting a hand under the table on Tavish's free hands is reaching for the spanner. Nope.
Yes.
Nope. Hold off. I fail to see. Sorry, go on, Mark.
I was going to say, Phlesc would just point out she is a full Klingon now. And she's brought a lot of honour to the house we're adoptive members of.
Again, a ripple of scoffs. She may have the appearance of a full Klingon now, but she was born a half-breed, and it will pervade through her nature for the rest of her life. It's not her fault, she can't help it. As for you being members of a Klingon house, well, we all know that was a token gesture in any case, so I wouldn't put too much stock in a house like Krell if I were you.
And Sott's just going to point out that as someone who didn't have a beard but now does have a beard, he can relate to someone who's had to go through such a dramatic transformation in such a short amount of time. I get where she's coming from.
Sorry.
I think you've killed somebody.
I need to find the mute button. Hold on. Sorry.
Well done, Chris. I think you've killed Dave.
Thanks, man.
Ooh. Pointing out the flaws in someone's beard. She's dead, Jim. It's quite. Dr. Sott going to administer a sedative. Okay. Yes, there's very much a pregnant silence after Sott makes that kind of comment. Indeed. Well, now that I think of it, perhaps raw targ, roasted as it is, will be unfit for your bellies. Klingons, after all, do like to eat our meat relatively rare. I wouldn't want to give you all food poisoning. Perhaps, if we give it a few more hours to burn to a near cinder, it might be fit for your palates. How about we retire?
Klingons raw.
What was that, sorry, Dave?
Lily says, "Don't worry, I eat my Klingons raw."
There's very much a derisive chuckle that goes up from the Klingons now. Indeed. Indeed. Perhaps, Captain Sobek, you should take your crew members back to your ship, and when we feel the Targ is made to more Federation standards, we will send it over to you along with a small party to ensure that you can cut it properly. You do, after all, barely have any comprehension of Klingon traditions. It might be better if you had someone who actually knows what they're doing to show you.
And a barrel of blood wine, surely.
I thought it was against regulations to be drinking on duty. Again, another ripple of derisive chuckles.
Can Ling and Zhang point out that they're quite adept, as Hopkins put extensively in a databank on Klingon cultures?
Yes, absolutely she can. Well, again... Go on, sorry.
She'll do that as she spent many of years with her Klingon family.
Yes, well, as I've already pointed out, there's not much to expect from a lonely house like Krell, so I wouldn't put much stock in what half Klingon says about true traditions. The Krell don't know their place.
Can Lily whisper to Liang Zhang something? Hey, Commander, do you think, if I sneak off now, I just interface with their Klingon ship and just, put a few systems down, you think that'd be a problem? like life support and
turn off the gravity as you leave.
Yeah.
Oh God!
Do you think that's a bad idea?
So Lian Zhang kind of is like, part of me wants to say no, part of me wants to say yes, and just looks over at Captain Sobek. But the captain has put his hands on the arms of the chair and is now standing up. I may be Vulcan, but I am still fairly familiar with conversational nuance, General. I believe it is time for my crew and I to leave. We thank you for the invitation and for your hospitality. However, we shall be leaving now. Hopefully, we can re-engage in such a situation again under more favorable circumstances. Crew, if you will accompany me. The moment you guys leave the mess hall, even though the first officer gets up to escort you back, the moment the door closes, there is a great raft of laughter that goes up from the other side of the door, with the first officer of the ship trying his level best to keep a neutral face on as he escorts you back to the transporter room. But within a couple of moments, you find yourselves back on board the cones. So you didn't even get that much blood wine down you.
Lily, as soon as we're back on the cones, Lily will ask Captain Sobek in a very serious voice, with a very serious face, and just goes, "Shields and weapons ready, sir."
Let us not make any
Full
hostile
torpedoes.
I would advise against making any kind of hostile maneuvers right now. They are technically our escort, and it is unsurprising, though perhaps a little disappointing, that they would use this opportunity, whilst we are still technically under the flag of peace and truce, to how do you put it? Have a go. We are Starfleet, Lieutenant. Never forget that. Starfleet never fires first. If we can help it.
Yes, sir.
We should definitely scan that targ when it comes on board. That was weird. I don't mind it. It would have been fine to eat now.
Indeed. I require some time to process everything that was discussed. Commander Zhang, please take the con while I will be in my quarters. Those of you who have a personal relationship with Captain Sobek will recognize the point where this is usually where Sobek is wrestling with his emotions enough that he feels he needs to take quiet moments away and probably meditate aggressively. Now, the fact that there is a notion such as meditating aggressively, should be a bit of a weird oxymoron, but those of you who know Sobek like you do know that this is actually possible. Nevertheless, it takes well over a day or so to get through Klingon space, but over the course of the next near 24 hours, excuse me a second, something just popped up and I gotta get it out of my view, there we go. Ensign Bonnet occasionally has to make the odd course correction now and then, just as the Klingons correct theirs, so that you stay in formation with them. The Klingon ship is running with its shields down, so for the moment the Combs is as well. And it's been pretty run-of-the-mill, pretty boring. But at some point, onto the bridge walks Beatrice Dufresne, who is there with a bit of a... She comes in and she looks like she's about to turn around and forget what she was about to do, but then she just kind of hovers on the side here for a bit before she eventually just plucks up the courage for whatever she was going to do, and kind of sidles in next to Gerkow. Lieutenant, there's something... I'm not sure exactly how to put this. May I? And she kind of gestures down at the control panel in front of Gerkow, that she wants to use it. Connie, as her direct superior, are you alright with her hijacking your console for the moment?
Yes.
Okay. She switches the display to B1 from stellar cartography, and it's basically just showing the ship, the Combs, currently on course with its heading and its current speed. I've been keeping track of where we're going, and something is bothering me about this. So, if I may, she lays in a couple of commands, and she brings up what appears to be a Klingon insignia for the Huve and a Starfleet insignia for the Combs, and it's showing the course plotted out. Okay, this is the current course that we've got mapped out. We are following information with the Klingon ship. It's just that if I wanted to take us through Klingon space out to Federation space on the other side as quickly as possible, then I would take, and she begins typing commands into the console again, I would take this route. When she inputs that command, you do see a visual representation of the course that that Dufresne would have taken. Kind of shows the galactic map with the line of the ship's course, taking them just past what would equate to be the galactic northern parts of the Klingon Empire, and eventually gets you out not far from Starbase 234. And then Dufresne goes, and if we go back to our current course, if we project our destination using our current course as a vector, She inputs commands again, and you definitely see that the line is quite a bit off. If we keep following this course that the Klingons are taking us on, they're taking us... we might end up deeper into Klingon space rather than further away. It's just... I'm not sure how to put it. And I didn't want to alert the captain about this, because maybe the Klingons know something that we don't. I mean, it is their space. Am I crazy? She's looking at Gerkow now with a questioning face.
Tell the captain.
Tell the captain.
That's
Okay.
all I said.
Captain, we've got something for you. So,
I've got
Dufresne...
something for you to look at.
Yeah. Indeed. Send it to my console here, please. And so, even though it's not technically here on the map, if we remember, an Intrepid class has got some kind of console that pops up between the captain and first officer's chairs. So both Zhang and Sobek get a look at the data that Dufresne and Gerkow have just been bringing up. And yeah, it does indeed look like they are taking us further into Klingon space rather than away from. Perhaps we should inform the Klingons first of their course mismanagement. Ensign Ravelon, please send a message to the Huveg and alert them that we have concerns about their course heading. Good Captain, says Ensign Ravelon. And I'm now going to ask, now since Chris Bell isn't here for Garrow, I'm going to ask Gerkow to give us a sensor sweep, please. This is going to be control and science.
Control and science?
What have you got here for focuses?
Statistical probability?
Yeah, go on then.
Statistical probability that they're
Based on the
betray-
data, yeah, based on the data
Based on the
she's seeing,
data.
she will arrive at a conclusion. So we'll see how well she arrives at that conclusion too. Okay. Do you get one momentum for that? Oh.
Huh?
What was that? Okay. Okay. So Gerkow detects coming up on your stern, a little ways away, but slowly gaining, appears to be a number of warp signatures. This might be... Anybody got starship recognition?
Damn, I was about to take that too when I made this
Okay,
character.
okay. Let's see, if we
But I
don't have
didn't.
starship recognition, then anything like... anything to do with warp, or...
The captain has starship design.
He
Warp
does.
theory as a focus.
Warp theory as a focus, so... Working together with anybody else with warp or warp engine related focuses could be appropriate here. So obviously this is going to be a test using reason and con. So those with a higher con will probably be more favourable at leading such a thing. But
Nope, not me.
those who have
I
got
gotta-
engineering can also help.
Cool.
I got reason 9 on a 4.
Okay, that's not bad.
Reason 10, engineering 5. Warp
So-
field dynamics focus.
So maybe Phlesc should lead and Madeleine Bonnet should assist? Or
Okey-dokey.
do we think it should be a different direction? Or do we think somebody else should assist as well? The captain was mentioned actually, so Chris, do you want to grab Captain Sobek? Since he does
you
have
did-
starship
Sorry,
design.
yeah, sure.
So, alright, so this does have... This is basically sensors, right? Or computers.
This is mostly going to be using sensors or computers, yes, to identify warp signatures and what they could potentially be.
Oh, good. Technical expertise whenever you attempt a task assisted. Would the ship be able to use sensor? Can we use the ship's sensors to help us with this
Sure.
as well?
Okay.
Now we'll be able to reroll a single dice in the dice pool, or at least I will be able to if I get a 20.
Okay. So what we can do then is, if we have Chris being Captain Sobek, can we have Connie as the Combs? And Phlesc will be his usual self, making people go slightly askew.
Who's
Is that me?
leading?
Don't know.
That was me.
Oh, okay.
Who's leading? Good question. It sounds like Phlesc might be.
Yeah, we'll have Phlesc lead the ship.
Ship
Madeline
can
and the
use...
captain.
Yeah, the ship can use sensors and PON, I think. Let's not forget this has got very, very good sensors. From the captain, can I get... Let's go with reason and engineering, with a focus on starship design.
Sure.
Hey, the captain with a success! So, Connie, if we could have the combs, please?
That's Wolverine.
Oh, it was almost a 20. It was so very nearly a 20. Oh, oh, oh. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Alright, nice. There are actually, now that you've had the chance to examine sensor records, that's a good point actually, because the combs, doesn't the combs generate extra momentum from sensors?
Mm-hmm.
There you go. So, examining those warp trails more closely, you realize it's from a trio of ships, and they are definitely heading under what appears to be their maximum warp, and they're coming up on a course very much equal to yours. They're trying to gain on you from behind. The type of energy output that you are reading from those three ships and the size of the energy output would suggest that these are probably bird of prey class vessels.
Evasive maneuvers.
Well, this is a good question, because technically they haven't done anything yet. So, how would you like the crew to respond?
Oh, again, I think you're right. They haven't done anything yet. But I think we should be prepared to do evasive maneuvers, put up shields, and be ready to power up weapons. But not actually do any of them at the moment.
Connie?
Maybe we could use like some sort of photon black torpedo, set it off and just run away.
Like a spatial flashbang, almost.
Exactly.
Yeah, I will happily plot in a course to the nearest Federation territory and go as fast as possible.
Okay. So then, the first thing I'm going to need to do is to modify a torpedo so that it does have the desired flashbang effect. So, somebody... Now, as it turns out, Gerkow has got shipboard tactical systems as a focus, so using him would probably be a good idea. Anybody else who has got anything that could help with... I mean, experimental technology from Tavish would probably make a good addition there, since you're retasking a torpedo to do something else other than explode. You're just wanting it to make a bright flash. to try and confuse sensors for a little bit. So unless folks have got any better ideas,
Would propulsion or electroplasma power system work for reconfiguring this torpedo?
the torpedo, I think anybody who's got any kind of focus with weapon systems, which is why I mentioned Gerkow, but also Tavish's focus on experimental tech.
I was just wondering because it's a. I got propulsion, so
Yeah, and when it comes to breaking away at high speed, then we'll definitely have a look at that. But if you want to, if you really want to get involved with the torpedo thing, then that's cool. But
I'm just
probably...
We've got a near full momentum pool. We can have Tavish and
That is true.
Gerkow. Sorry, Tavish and.
Yarrow, gotcha.
Our poor security officer's name can never get remembered.
Exactly. Well, Chris isn't here, so I blame that. But yeah, we can spend the momentum to give them the extra dice for 4.
Connie, were you going to say something?
We just scan for the best place to fire at in the general area, just to get some more momentum from the sensors.
You've got a near full one, as it turns out. But okay. If you want to have a specific scan for the best place to park this torpedo or to deploy it, then yes, by all means. This would probably be a statistical probability and a not stellar phenomenon, although Dufresne has got sensors. I was thinking more about astronavigation. So you need to plot a course.
We could also...
So that means Zhang with navigation, Gerkow with statistical probability, Dufresne, not really. Anybody else got any kind of astronavigation or anything like that?
No, sorry, not.
Okay.
I like the idea of using what's it called? Space rocks to see sort of like the stellar phenomena thing. If there's any space rocks we could blast in the meanwhile to create some debris.
Ooh.
As well.
Okay.
So it's not just light, it's also like...
So anybody else with focus on stellar phenomena and that kind of thing would go well with this as well. Okay. Looking for as many options as you possibly can. I'm down with that.
This is a fragmentation flashbang torpedo.
So the first thing we want is finding a way out, and the second thing we want is putting together this torpedo. So... sounds like a Gerkow, Dufresne, Zhang.
Oh, Aversion also has stellar phenomena.
And Aversion, so there we are then.
The Aversion diversion.
Science team!
Thanks. So, Connie, Liz, if you want to be Aversion, Mark, if you can be Dufresne, Cress, if you can be Lian Zhang. So let's see, for Zhang we're going to want Reason and Con because she's using navigation. For Reason and Science with stellar phenomena from Dufresne, please.
Who was leading this, sorry?
Gerkow.
Gerkow.
Yeah, so
Cool. 1 dice for me.
Yeah. Oh, are we also using the cone sensors?
Boosh.
Sensors, yes, but I think we've got quite a few on this now, so... Okay, Aversion as well for stellar phenomena. So it's all down to Gerkow.
God focus from
Yes,
Gerkow.
indeed.
Lovely. Calling it what it is now.
Oof. Nice, nice, nice. Well, yes. Alright, so a number of options do present themselves, interestingly enough, but we'll get right to that after we determine how well you make your prototype flashbang torpedo. So Gerkow is probably going to use reason and security for this with shipboard tactical systems, but he can just as easily assist anybody who wants to use reason and engineering to Tavish's experimental tech, and of course Phlesk's let's see.
I don't have anything really for a focus.
No.
But we should definitely spend momentum. If Tavish leaves, spend momentum.
Yeah,
get
so
extra dice,
2 from
3.
Tavish, 1 from Gerkow, 1 from Phlesc gives you room for 1 more for momentum, yeah, so.
No focus?
Okay, still a success. So, Liz, if you are Tavish, then can I get a Chris to be a Gerkow?
And it's reason and engineering, right?
Yes, please.
Certainly.
No focus is from Tavish, or
Yep.
Experimental tech from Tavish, please.
okay.
What's Gerkow doing? Is he also doing reason engineering?
He's doing reason and security because he's looking
Makes
at this
more
from the
sense.
perspective of the torpedo.
And shipboard tactical systems focus?
Yes, please.
No S.
Good lord, the successes. Okay. Very nice. So you've got a sensor baffling prototype torpedo created, modified, and stowed in the launch bay now. Alright. So the sensors having a sweep for possible escape routes, the best route home, and things you can use as cover or diversions. The area of space you're in is devoid of a lot of stellar matter that's dense and big enough to be things like asteroids and meteorites and whatnot. But one thing that is very prominent in this area that you're coming up on is a dark matter nebula. Now, a dark matter nebula has pros and cons when using it for as an escape vector. The cons being that it's probably going to mess with most of your ship's systems. The pros being that anything you guys have to put up with, the Klingons will have to put up with as well, so it all comes down to ingenuity.
And we're expecting it.
And you're expecting it. But just as you do these active sensor scans and get ready to basically break off, fire your torpedo, and then make a jump for it in order to peel away, there's a sudden alert that comes from the tactical console as the Huveg starts raising its shields, but then generates a massive graviton burst. And so I'm going to ask everybody to, as per usual, give me the Star Trek shake. As you are knocked out of warp. So your ship is knocked out of warp, and you come down to impulse power. The Huveg was slightly ahead of you, but has to essentially come out of warp itself and come back around in order to try and get you. They are locking on weapons, and those 3 birds of prey are not far away. They're going to be a mere minute or so away from dropping out of warp themselves. So you've got moments to act. Zut. Précisement. So, let's use your flashbang. Fire distraction torpedo. Well, indeedy. So, I am going to want a Garrow, so let's have Connie be Garrow for the moment. Can I get Mark be the Combs? Garrow is going to be giving me control and security with shipboard tactical systems, 2 dice, whereas Mark for the Combs is going to be giving me weapons and security, 1 dice. As we do indeed. Fire torpedo! 2 successes, which means it lands pretty much where you needed it to create a great big flash. And the timing couldn't be better because the 3 Klingon birds of prey, all bearing the same house insignia as the Huve, House Varoth, drop out of warp just in time to get their faces full of a great big flash. Now, not far from where you've come out of warp is the Dark Matter Nebula entrance. Do you want to... Well, do you want to take advantage of the momentary distraction you've given them to run for the Dark Matter Nebula, or do you actually want to come around and take them on?
I'd say do a Renault. It's 4-1.
Yeah. Renault.
Now if they're all birds of prey, we might have been able to take them. One of them's a Vorcha.
Yes. Alright. So it's going to be a bit of a run. You've got a distinct advantage of... You've got a couple of seconds bought from the flashbang. So let's see how far you can push this. Now, I am going to ask for our new helm officer to give us a control and con check, and the ship, which is going to be... Chris, have you been the Combs yet?
It's just walked away for the moment.
Oh yes, okay, then Connie, it falls to you.
Alright, and I get a focus, and I'm also going to use a value of either Fast and Furious, a true pilot trusts their instincts, or in the cockpit, I am free.
Either one of them works for me.
We would have had full momentum after that scan.
Yes.
So take one of those momentum back off it. Have another dice.
The ship can also give us engines and con, please. Now, don't we have a chief engineer who has, I believe it's giving it all she's got. So before we do that, before I take power away from the ship in order to power this maneuver you're about to do, let's have Tavish roll a single challenge dice to see if you can reduce the cost to power. You don't. So, Connie, then, if you can also take a point of power off of the Combs when you give me that engines and con check, please.
Okay, so you want me to take a momentum or a extra dice, so I technically have 4 dice being rolled?
Sounds like. Boom, bada boom, boom, boom! So basically, flooring it, you put the pedal to the metal, and there's a very definitive up in the whine pitch coming from the impulse engines as you make a dive for the antimatter nebula. Sorry, dark matter nebula. Antimatter nebula? Jeez, can you imagine? So you have gained a huge lead. And as you are pulling towards the dark matter nebula at full speed, your sensors tell you that the Huve is coming straight after you, as are the 3 birds of prey. But as you are set to start getting towards the dark matter nebula, the Huve is starting to pull away, and Ensign Ravalon manages to note a coded transmission between the Huve and the 3 birds of prey. The birds of prey are continuing their direct course after you, so it looks like at the very least they are going to be diving into the dark matter nebula after you. But as for the Huve, it's taking a different route. Unclear what they're up to as of yet. But that moment of trying to find out what it is they're actually going to do is interrupted by the moment that you get an alert signal that you are about to cross the threshold of the Dark Matter Nebula. That's when everything goes haywire. So, yes, as soon as you enter into the Dark Matter Nebula and you pierce the nebula outer boundary, the ship rocks and all of the onboard systems start to flicker as the control panels flicker on, flicker off. Engineering, there's all sorts of chaos going on in there as systems are reporting power surges and interference. So, for the moment, external sensors are a complete mess. Shields and weapons have been completely disabled. And, yeah, helm controls are at the moment going more than a little haywire.
This is fine. I think part of the engineering problem may be from when I punched it. As well.
So, the good news, at the very least, is that the 3 birds of prey somewhere on your tail have also now penetrated the outer bounds of the nebula and are themselves suffering from the same effects. Now, what's the first thing you're going to do?
Shields. Let's get all the shields back online.
All right then.
Can I have a look at my neural interface again, please?
Let me get you back to deck 1 then, momentarily. You want to look at your neural interface. Okay, that's a bit longer than I have room for. The character has had a cybernetic device applied directly to the brain, allowing them to blah, 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 blah. Initiating or breaking the link between their minds and a computer system takes a minor action. While they're connected, they may re-roll the d20 gained from using ship systems. However, anytime the ship suffers a breach, you also suffer 3 challenge dice of stress. So it allows you to re-roll the computer's, the ship's computer dice if you use it.
Okie dokie. I didn't know whether it'll be especially trying to get systems back up, if it would be a good idea, if that would do anything to help, but seeing as we're not actually using the computers at the moment, and we're actually trying to get them back up and working, and we're trying to get ship systems all back up and working, I don't think that's going to work.
Okay.
So yeah, let's. Is every system on the ship getting affected?
Not every system. Communications are spotty, but they still technically work. No problem, Liz. The only problem that Ensign Ravalon will tell you about communications is that the Klingons have taken you deep enough into their space that you're now quite a distance away from any Federation comm relays. So any communication you do send out, if and when you get out of the Dark Matter Nebula, is going to take a while to get anywhere. So for the moment, comms are still... they're spotty, but they're still functional, but whoever you send communications to, it's going to take a while to get there if you send them out of system. Engines at the moment are coping, since you're only at impulse and you're not generating a warp field, or at least too much of a warp field at this point. External sensors are basically disabled, as are shields, as are weapons, and helm controls are just not sure what the hell they're doing, because you have no external sensors with which to get any kind of proper navigational data from. So, plenty of problems.
How how is life support looking?
Life support's okay. Life support's functioning.
Okay. All right. That was if that was spotty, that was going to be one of the first things I was going to try and fix with Tavish. I think first up is sorting out shields, then helm control, then weapons, and then sensors.
Everybody
in that
on
order.
board? Because I know Mark did mention shields as well.
Yeah, shields, helm control. Actually, yeah, shields, helm control, sensors, then weapons. Weapons going to be last.
Ready?
Well, if the rest of the crew agree with me.
Do the rest of the crew agree? Sounds like.
As long as shields are first, I'm absolutely on board.
Yeah, I'm just thinking if we do maybe sensor. I mean, helm control would be great, but it's like sensor.
We can put.
Quickly.
Yeah.
I was going to say we can put sensors in second, because at least then we know hopefully where they are and where we are and whatever is happening in this nebula.
Yeah.
So yeah, shields, sensors, helm control, weapons, and then Tavish will try and get his warp power as well afterwards.
Okay. Alright then, shields. So, Phlesc has got deflector technology. Ensign ACOS, if I remember, has got a focus on shields as well.
Tavish has a focus on shields as well.
So, between the three of you, should be able to.
I'll let Phlesc take the lead on this one.
Okay. So, if Liz is taking control of Tavish, and Mark is, of course, doing Phlesc, can we have Chris, you back with us?
Yeah, so I'm just on mute because I'm eating pizza.
Oh,
I'm
wow. Going
to
Go on, Mark.
steal momentum to get an extra dice in there.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay.
Use
And
my
hit
second
the Starcross.
to hopefully really max this out.
Okay. Chris, can I get you to be Ensign ACOS, please? Parent figure. Yes.
Parent figure.
Certainly. What about rollings?
Let's go with control and security with a focus on shields. Ooh, Tavish, not so much. Oh, always makes me nervous when I see it at 20, but then it rolls back onto an 8.
It hung on for a second.
It did, it really did. But we've got 4 successes out of that, so nice, which means... that was a 1. Means you managed to regain 2, 3, 8. So you're up to like just about 50% shields. The birds of prey at the moment appear to be floundering about as they're all drifting out in different directions at the moment. Their shields are still down. They are themselves showing signs of not quite getting a handle on their systems as of yet. So what was task number 2?
If they've not got their shields up, maybe now's the time to get the weapons online.
No, we need to get those sensors up. Because, to be perfectly honest, we're in a nebula, and anything can happen in this nebula. I'd rather have the sensors up than weapons.
There's just something to be said for like seizing the initiative.
Yeah.
Yes,
3 of them.
Helms is still working, right? It's just more difficult to use.
Very much more difficult to use because you're not getting proper inputs. Because sensors don't know what to do with themselves. So
Sensors and then weapons, and then we go in an attack pattern and we fix the helm later.
Okay. Everybody good with that?
I'd
Sensors
have done
first.
helm. I'd have done helm before attack pattern because we'll have increased complication and difficulty.
Unless, of
trying to,
course, Ms. Bonnet is very, very confident in her ability to steer the ship even with slightly malfunctioning con systems. Okay, first things first, we want to get a handle on sensors. This is fine. The ship's on fire, but this is fine. Indeed, that very, very gif. Okay, so now we need folks to fix sensors. Who are we getting to fix sensors? I mean, one with sensors as an actual focus is Beatrice Dufresne herself. Anybody else got sensors as a focus? Looking through some of your supporting characters. So far, just Dufresne. So it's essentially whoever you want to put on this job.
Tavish again.
Alright, well, Connie, if you want to be... Unless Gerkow is getting involved in the sensors as well.
Maybe Phlesc could assist.
Okay.
Yep. I don't have a focus, but I've got parent figure.
That's all we need.
Dufresne... In that case, Connie, you could be Dufresne because she's got to focus on sensors. Reason and science, or reason and engineering, depending on which avenue you are bringing it from. The case can be made for either. Oof. Okay.
Any focuses for Tavish?
Tavish.
Nope.
Not really. You're a talent. And you've got momentum to spend if you want. Alright, it seems that sensors are proving tricky, which is no small surprise, as any from the science department will tell you that dark matter nebulae are hypothetically formed from subspace rifts leaking dark matter into our universe. So you're probably flying into an area that's been created by a subspace rift, so in all likelihood you've got things from essentially other subspace layers leaking into yours, so it's no surprise that sensors are still having trouble. So you've decreased the sensor interference by a bit, but not by all of it. So your view screen is very fuzzy, and navigational sensors as a result are fuzzy as well, so slightly difficult. So tactical will also be slightly hard to use if and when you get weapon systems back online, because targeting sensors will be having a jolly old time trying to figure out what's real and what's not. Which brings us to the next. So I believe you wanted to try and get weapons systems up next. Or were you going for helm this time, with what just happened?
I think helm. But,
Go on.
but what did the rest of the crew think? Oh, sorry, I was saying I think helm, but what does the rest of the crew think? Because I think
One for helm.
most people wanted one for helm.
I mean, do we know
Second.
Klingons are beyond just no shields? If we've got a bit of a head start, we can afford to help first.
So it sounds like one vote for seizing the initiative with weapons. Maybe knock out one of the Klingon ships. Dave, did I hear you? You were for helm?
Yep.
Okay, so 2 for helm, 1 for hitting them while you still can. Connie, what's your impression of all of this?
I think helm. I don't want to get into combat, and we can't move very well.
All right.
This is fine. Helm's fine.
It seems
But we
like
could also
folks
make
want to get a handle
getaway.
on helm before you go bringing around the attack pattern to bring them up. Okay, so try and fix helm control a bit. So this sounds like we're going to want Bonnet for her helm operation. We can also use Lian Zhang with her focus on navigation. Anybody else want to join in trying to reconfigure the helm controls?
I forget what kind of power system does the ship use?
It uses EPS power systems, electroplasma.
Oh, I had that. That's where my focus is.
Yes, you do.
I'll help if no one else is helping.
Okay. Connie, could you be Lian Zhang, please? We are using control and con to try and basically compensate for interference on navigational sensors. So, control and con from both our helm officer and from Lian Zhang, both with navigation or helm control related focuses. Phlesc is just going to be going on pure talent here. Reason and con, I am afraid.
Reason and con. Not strong for me. Ooh.
What's up with these 19s?
I'm going to use a determination.
I see where this is going, says Phlesc. Oh, but
Boosh! Oh,
Phlesc brings it back with a double 1.
Oh, okay, so Lian Zhang was, I guess, taking the lead.
So it looks like Lian Zhang has taken the lead, so Liz, if you roll just 1. She is an ensign after all, but she just gives us a success. So it's all down to Maddie and Phlesc. Bring us that momentum back. So, in the time that you have made it slightly less hard for yourself with steering this thing, one of the birds of prey have managed to get their shields back up. So, and another one at least maybe is bringing back their sensor suite. You have got weapons left to do. So we bring ourselves back to deck 1 again. So weapons, of course, is going to be mostly Garrow, what with control and security and shipboard tactical systems. Anybody who wants to help is certainly welcome to do so. How's Ensign Acos? Nice hand phases. Go on.
Would my focus in EOP, electroplasma power system work?
Potentially, yes. Rerouting pure. Oh, it's Scottish there for some reason. Rerouting power from elsewhere in order to bring weapon systems back online using Garrow's instructions on which systems to reinitialize might very well work. So yes, okay.
if it's a power systems engineering bit of work, Phlesc can definitely help with his focus.
Alright then. So it sounds like Phlesc and Bonnet are assisting Garrow. Chris, have you be Garrow, please?
Does Gerkow want to take a momentum for an extra dice?
And if he wishes.
Can do. What am I rolling?
Control and security with a focus on shipboard tactical systems.
Cool, and because I'm assisting but momentuming, I'm still rolling 2, right?
He's not assisting, no, you're rolling 2 because you are the lead.
So 3.
3 in that case, yeah.
What is the roll for Madeline?
Go for control and engineering. Or control and security, whichever's higher. Engineering's higher, so go for that.
Yeah, definitely engineering.
Whoop. Garrow slaying it. Alrighty. rerouting power, as they say, and bringing systems back through means you have reinitialized your weapons systems. In the time it's taking you to do that, another of the birds of prey have activated their shields. So, what would you like to do with this brief moment of initiative, as we call it?
Let's blast the weakened one, or the one without shields.
Okay, now the good news is that hitting one without shields, it's at long range at the moment, but that's precisely what a photon torpedo was made for. Now, there's still interference on the targeting sensors, so whereas normally it's difficulty 3, it's going to be difficulty 4. In order to hit the bird of prey, it's going to require Garrow, which maybe Liz could be Garrow for this point in time, giving us control and security, and the ship, of course, aiding. But before we do that, I would like Connie, please, to roll me a challenge dice from anywhere she fancies, just to see if Tavish can knock down the power requirement required for... Okay, never mind.
No. Do we want to use Garrow's determination and a momentum? If it's a difficulty 4.
I hear no objections.
Cool. Whoever's doing Garrow's roll.
Alright, so...
Garrow's giving us control and security with 2 dice. Connie, could you be the Combs, please? Weapons and security from the Combs. 5 successes from Garrow. My godness. Alright then. Connie, roll photon torpedo damage. And you had... Oh, good grief. 2 extra. Ooh, blimey. 8 successes, 2 effects. So 8 minus 3 is still 5, which means you completely crippled that one with one very serious photon torpedo hit. So that's one bird of prey out of the runnings. But that does mean the other 2 now come in and want to try the same. So let me just grab something here.
Please, initiative. Do we want to do something like shields whilst we've got initiative, or just let them hit us?
Good question. But most of your initiative so far has been taken up with bringing systems back online, and I kind of got the impression this is a rush job, so if you want to rush one more system restore out by spending momentum to keep the initiative, then absolutely you can.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, 2 momentum gone. Who is doing what? If you want to bring shields back, that's going to require a control and engineering, I do believe. Let me just make sure I'm absolutely right there. Position tasks, internal systems, daring... No, that's... I'm looking at power management. Sorry, it is control and engineering. Assisted by the ship's structure and engineering. So...
I have focus in force field, so happy to lead that.
May as well do that then. Liz, if you could be the Combs for me, please. And Chris, can I get you to roll a challenge dice for me from anywhere to see if the power requirement for raising shields can be negated?
Sure. How many dice?
No,
Just the one?
Parent figure. I'm going to spend a determination to re-roll those. focus. Let's try that again.
Better.
There we go.
Alright, so 1 from Phlesc, 1 from the combs means that you have succeeded 1. You got 1 over what you needed. If you want, you can pour both of those into raising shields by 4.
Yep.
Everyone good with that? Okay. Which is in no small amount of time, because the Klingons are now opening fire. So let's see how we do. Alrighty. So, because your shields are up, they're not going to try a torpedo, so they're going to open fire with weapons, and they're just going right for it. They needed 3, they got exactly what was required, so they're going for disruptor cannons. 5 and 3 means that they managed to get an 8. Which means... oh, nope, wrong one. Which means for the combs, you've got resistance of 6, which means you take a hit of 2. So just as well, you got some of those shields back. The other bird of prey is going to try something similar, except these guys didn't get their sensors online as well, so they're going to have extra difficulty with this one. As such, their commanding officer is screaming at them to get the job done, so they're going to spend a point of my threat. He did not manage to hit, thankfully. So that stops just short. Right. We are now around to you guys. You have got some measure of sensors back. You've got shields more or less up. Your helm control isn't fantastic, but it at least seems to be working for the moment. Do you want to continue engaging the Klingons, or do you want to try and speedrun it a little further into the nebula to try and lose these guys?
I have something of an idea. We still have access to the Gwicha, right?
You do not.
Do we not?
The Gwicha was taken off of you because it's a Klingon ship. It was gifted by Chancellor Gowron, and he wanted his toy back. Thank you very much.
I think incredibly upset. I thought we could run interference with it or something. Alright, never mind. I was just checking the actors, it's still there, I wasn't aware. Alright, no worries.
It's a good point, though. I neglected to note that the Gwicha was no longer on the ship, so yes. You now have 2 shuttlecraft in your launch bay, rather than a shuttlecraft and a Klingon attack fighter. Nope, the Klingons very succinctly took their toy back.
Shall we fire a salvo at one of the birds of prey?
Hack pattern?
That would expose us. We'd make it easier for them to hit us if we went into attack pattern.
Yes.
We just got away, so we've managed to hit them just fine without attack pattern.
I like the enthusiasm that was in Liz's voice. It's like, oh, let me do an attack pattern. It's my first attack pattern. I want to do an attack pattern.
Which is the one without Let's go for this one, because it doesn't. That's the one with better chance of hitting us. Let's.
Yep.
Just shoot it.
Perfectly honest, I think we should run away.
Can we get away?
You can try. Depends on what depends on what you would rather do.
While everybody's doing this, can I try and get the warp engines back up, please?
Okay. Warp engines at the moment are no problem. The problem is you won't be able to create a stable warp bubble in a dark matter nebula.
And if we exit it, and there's the Vorcha on the outside, and these 2 follow us, we then got 3 on 1.
So yes, you would have to exit the dark matter nebula in order to establish a stable warp bubble, which would allow you to then go to warp speed. So it's an option, but like Mark has just noted, it's a tactically risky one.
I'd rather take care of these two, fix ourselves while we're in the nebula, then leave it to do a runner.
Here.
Yeah,
Alright.
I agree. Destroy the two ships.
Yeah, target the one that's got sensors because it hits us.
Okay. So, which brings us to the usual combat run. It's going to be a case of, do you want to set up advantages for yourselves first, or do you want to shoot and then leg it, as we say in Britain, or what? Because commanding officers can set up advantages. Obviously, your sensor operator can set up looking for weaknesses ahead
If
of...
we're setting up advantages,
Yep.
does that give them? Do we get to set up advantages then fire, or are we setting up advantages?
This will go in the
getting-
usual initiative order, so one of you, one of them, one of you, one of them, one of you, one of them.
No, that's too many times they'll be hitting us. I'd say try and fire as much as we can.
Well, bearing in mind they're going to be doing similar things to you. One of them is going to be setting up an attack pattern, the other one, will be rolling to hit, and the other one will probably be doing engineering stuff to try and regain shields and or power, so...
Okay. Yeah. Let's.
So, what do you want to do first? Excuse me.
Let's decrease the difficulty to hit. So sensors, making sure we know where they are and how to hit them.
Alright, so it sounds like you want a commanding officer to do a presence and command check to make it easy to set up an advantage, so...
Sounds like Captain Sobek.
Alrighty, so difficulty 2 for this. You can use anything from inspiration to invention.
I'm
To observation.
going to use my talent
Of...
and help advisor. I think that helps. I'm not too sure.
Whenever you assist another character using your command discipline, the character being assisted may re-roll 1d20. So yes, if if Tavish wants to assist this, then we can have Tavish and Sobek rolling.
And if you want to milk Sobek for some extra momentum, you can use one of his determination.
There's that. So, Mark, since you came up with the idea, you can be Sobek, and obviously Liz has to take control of Tavish. For Dave.
Focus in inspiration. Use a determination.
So, Liz, if I can get you to do presence and command for Tavish, please. 1 dice.
What does he have?
Thank you.
Teacher. When you create an advantage for an ally using guidance or advice, you may re-roll 1d20 on a single task that they attempt. Okay, so
There's 2
re-roll
rerolls
being-
possible here. Which is just
And
as
that'll
well,
be
because
one.
there's a 20 right there.
Yep. And we're just going to re-roll 1.
Much better. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ba-dum.
And then a challenge dice, as he's a veteran.
And he keeps it.
Yay!
He keeps his determination spend. Nice. Okay, so enemies easier to hit? You going for?
Yeah, enemies easy to hit.
Bring the difficulty down to
Everyone
hit
agree
them.
with that?
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, so that was one of you, along with Tavish, so now it's up to one of them. Klingons being Klingons, the first thing he's going to do is attack pattern. Aided by the ship's weapons and con. And I rolled a complication. Okie dokie, but got enough successes. So what I am going to say there is... He does set up the attack pattern, but the he will be even easier to hit since he's overloaded some of his ship systems in pressing them too hard. So even easier to hit. But he's also set up attack pattern. So Klingons being somewhat reckless.
So
All right.
So the attack pattern means we will find it easier to hit them, and on top of that, the complication.
And on top of that, the advantage that Sobek has created. So yes, it all piles in. Speaking of, who would like to go next out of you lot?
Do you want to increase damage with like fishes or something? With scans? Knowing where to hit? Weak points, that's what I was trying.
Yes, so...
I mean... Sounds like next turn they're gonna attack us anyway, so might as well attack them now.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking as well.
Alright.
Okay.
Let's go for it.
In that case, since Liz, you came up with that response, let's get you to be Garrow, and Connie, since you agreed, you can be the Combs. So Garrow is giving us... Let me activate Garrow, actually. Garrow is giving us control and security with shipboard tactical systems. The ship is giving us weapons and security. And can I get Chris to roll me a challenge dice to see if Tavish manages to keep the power expenditure to a minimum? She does! No power expended. Nice.
Would you guys mind if I take a momentum?
Targeting systems on board the Combs are awesome!
I kinda just want to make sure we try to destroy the ship, or at least badly damage it.
Yep.
Matt?
Yo.
I think with getting that success, with the power management thing, is that we regain power equal to my engineering score.
That's when you do the task of actively trying to regain power, rather than just knocking power usage off. So,
okay.
That's certainly something. Actually, Tavish has already taken her turn, so...
Yeah, it is.
Next time, though, Tavish could use her action to regain power, and yes, you're quite right, you would then be able to regain power in an amount equal to your engine's discipline. So... You're all good on that. Right, and you were wrong at the same time. But, nevertheless, 5 successes in total. So, let's see. We're in a nebula. The targeting systems aren't great. Therefore, the distance is medium now, rather than long, which means it would have gone from 2 to 3, but then with interference it pops it up to 4. But making enemies easier to hit thanks to the advantage rolls it by 1. Their attack pattern makes them easier to hit again, and even easier to hit because of the mistake they made, brings the difficulty down to 1, which means you have earned 4 successes over and above what you needed. You can bank 1 and put another 3 into damage, or you can put all 4 into damage if you wish.
Yeah, we're just gonna do
all in
damage.
damage. Let's get rid of them.
Connie, roll phasers.
Oh.
And 4 over.
And 4 extra. Right, there's a lot of blanks there. If you want, you can spend momentum to re-roll the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blank ones.
Yes!
Oh, yes.
I'm removing momentum.
Thank you.
Re-rolling stick.
Better. Okay. We've got 6 successes, 1 effect. And... no, pardon me. Pardon me, that's not correct. We've got 4 and 2, we've got 5 and 3, we've got 10 and 3. Okay. So, the good thing about phaser arrays is that they actually can hit more than once. So, we have got 10 and 3. Well, the first one is a 10, minus 7 is 7. That knocks their shields all the hell the way down and disrupts their structure, giving them breach. But because phaser arrays have the spread via trait, where is it? There it is, spread. It means that one of the effects means that you actually fire a second shot for half the amount you originally scored, which is 5, but the extra effects, the other 2, means that it's actually a 7. So 7 minus 3 remains 4, with 2 left over. We've got another breach. That is another ship taken out.
Yes.
But they are at least adrift at the moment. You have used your enemies easier to hit. That has also gone, but the attack pattern, well, the attack pattern can't be used now. May as well take that away. Right, so you set up an advantage. You have since shot at them. They get to go next. This guy can no longer act, so I take him away. This guy can no longer act, so I take him away. This guy can no longer act, so I take him away, which means we just basically add these guys again. The other bird of prey didn't like what you just did there, so they are going to probably just going to fire. These guys have got extra difficult for them to hit you because their sensors aren't quite as good, so they are going to spend extra threat to pile some extra dice in here, along with their ship. So, let's see. 2 goes up to 3, goes up to 4. And I got a 5. So. Roll. Targeted is that his friend. Not the case! And I am going to throw in another one. As they have poured extra power into their systems. 7 successes, 3 effects. Which means it's a 10, which means you actually take 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh! 1 short of a breach, but your shields are taking a hammering. One of you can go now, which means if you want, you can try and make a break for it. Or do you want to continue taking these guys on? Go on, Chris.
Just seeing as I'm the doctor, we're taking hits. Any injuries or anything I need to be concerned about?
So far you've taken no breaches, which means the ship is rumbling about, but so far nothing has penetrated your shields, and the fact that you have got ablative armor, which has made you an even tougher ship than usual of this caliber. So far everyone's okay. Nothing for Dr. Sott to look at.
I really want to finish them off.
Let's set it up like we did before. Shields are still holding.
Well, you haven't. So Lieutenant Commander Lian Zhang is yet to go. Gerkow is yet to go. Bonnet is yet to go. Phlesc is yet to go.
Phlesc can attempt to restore shields.
Okay.
Can we have Ensign Acos assist or even make him lead since he's got a focus in shields?
I also have a focus in shields.
Oh, everyone has a focus in shields.
Let's do just Phlesc then for the time being.
Cool.
Just the primary characters where we can. So, for shields, this will be control and engineering, but Connie, if you could be the combs, give me structure and engineering. One dice.
I'm going to use one of my Legion of Honor for bonus momentum to increase more shields.
Liz, could you roll me a challenge dice, please, to see if Tavish's power-related talent saves them the power needed? It does. Nice.
Nice.
The ship gives us 1 success, so anything else Phlesc can generate is over and above.
Ooh.
3. So, if you want, you could pile all of those into regaining shields, which would give you 2, 4, 6, 8 back.
I think we should do that. Because,
Should we? Sorry, go on.
Well, we can put in 6 to shields.
Bank
and
1.
Then
Yeah.
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 Yep.
We got, so it's 2 from the Legion of Honor, 3, 4...
Oh, I do beg your pardon, yeah. So that's
Yeah, so
actually
we-
4, 5 successes.
Yeah, put 1 in momentum and the rest into shields.
Okay. 2, 6, 8. One bomb. 1 back in momentum.
Nice.
Cool. Now it's one of them. They went for that first, so... He's going to regain power. Succeeds. Alright, one of you next. We've got Zhang, Gerkow, Bonnet left to go.
Gerkow, do you want to set us up for some
Yep.
damage?
Make us hit harder.
Alright, so that's going to be control and science. Actually, I'm looking at entirely the wrong place. Sensors, scan for weakness, control and science. Mark if you can be the combs, sensors and security.
Cool. Sensors and security.
Control and science from Gerkow, please.
Okay. Let me just. No, I don't want to use these things.
Looks like successes to me. Exactly what was needed. Okay. Piercing.
Can we take it? Use momentum to take the initiative now to shoot?
You've already
always
shot once this round. If you
Okay.
wanted to shoot again, it will not only cost you momentum, it'll be that much harder to do a second time.
Okay.
If you wanted to seize momentum and get Lian Zhang to set up inspiration.
I mean, she's going to do it anyway. There's only one enemy crew member left. They've already
okay.
fired. They're probably going to set up themselves for their next run anyway, like you guys are doing, so Lian Zhang will get a chance anyway.
Oh, in which case, yeah, let's save it for the captain to do instead, because he did really well, and save the momentum for a bit later.
Okay, so this guy is their helm officer, and he's going to give it a go. Along with weapons and con. Ooh, not so good. Not so good. So just one success, not enough to create an attack pattern, so they don't get a bonus to hit you, but you don't get a bonus to hit them, they just trundle along. So, who of you is going next? Zhang and Bonnet are remaining, so... what would you like them to do?
Go on, Bonnet. Attack pattern.
Alright, if you want to do an attack pattern, then... Connie... Chris, actually, roll me a challenge dice so we can see if... we keep power. We do. We take power, okay. So, actually, Chris, while you're on the combs, you can give me weapons and con for the ship, and for Bonnet, of course, it is going to be attack pattern. Is daring and con.
Oh.
One from the ship,
Yes.
because she handles so well.
And that's cool.
Okay,
That
so
daring's not as good as it should be.
2 was exactly what you needed to set up a attack pattern. So you've done it. Is there any specific attack pattern you wanted to use? I mean, I think Dave has given you a list to draw upon.
Oh yeah, he does. Let's see. It'd be what, under Tavish, right?
Might be under Tavish, yes. I mean, what was it? Attack pattern roller coaster?
Delta 43, Charlie 37, Golf 4, Juliet 74, November 21, the Luger Loop, the Hopkins Ram, and the Eversion Diversion attack pattern is.
Do all of them.
Oh,
It's the last thing they'll expect.
we're gonna do the loop.
The Luger Loop. Okay. All right then. This overly extravagant. Everybody has to hang on as they feel the inertial compensators do their best against this kind of breakneck looping turn that the Combs is now going to do as its attack pattern. Is there anything you want Zhang to do as her action on this last turn of this round?
Can she do something to support the attack, making it easier, so that the next turn we just attack?
So she can use presence and con if you want her to lend her expertise to the attack pattern. Absolutely. You may as well do that, Mark, since you brought it up.
Okay. She hasn't got any focuses.
Not in attack patterns specifically. She's more in evasive, but with one success, doesn't really set up the advantage, I am afraid. She's not used to giving orders. She's used to doing, but you gave me control and con, so it wouldn't be much better. Okay. Never mind.
Sorry.
She tried. She tried her best. She's like, I'm new at this. Okay. Okay, so at the start of this round, sensors do detect that the first ship that you put down, even though it's... actually, no, it won't be the first ship. You obliterated that with the torpedo. The second ship that you knocked down with a phaser spread is got its communication systems back up, and they are requesting reinforcements. And they are broadcasting your the current position. That's all they are doing at current. So whom of you wants to go first? Do you want to try and regain power, or do you want to try and regain shields, or do you want to attack, or do you want to flee? What do you want to do, Dave?
I'm gonna give the ship some dice to reroll. No, dice to reroll. I'm integrating myself into the ship.
Okay.
I'm going to use my my neural interface to put me and Nylil into the ship and give the ship,
So essentially,
help
whenever
people with-
somebody uses the ship to assist with a task, you can re-roll the ship's result.
Yes,
Interesting.
if needs be.
Very nice, very nice. Okay, so Tavish is using her action to pretty much connect up to...
Please keep up those shields, please.
Tavish
We
is
have
going
any
to
breaches?
every time the shields take a hit, mind you. So you know.
Yeah, well, if we get a breach, she's gonna actually take damage.
Our shields are pretty good. We're only 2 away from full with our new advanced shields.
Okay, so one of you has decided to act. Actually, give me a moment. I just had a devious thought.
I don't like that.
Right, I am blowing my entire threat pool.
Oh god.
Okay.
Can I take myself out of integrate myself into the ship?
Bit late for that.
Oh, sweet Jesus! But hey, it just injured. It should lose its shields, hopefully.
Unless they've been using their time to compensate. It's not arrived on this battle scene yet, but you definitely get a sensor note now that the Juve is on its way. Okay, so with that in mind, it's one of them goes next, and one of them, I mean the Bird of Prey crew. So they tried to set up an attack pattern, and they failed. So if they try something Helm-related again, it's going to be more difficult for them.
Isn't it a new round for them?
It is a new round for everybody, technically. But the attempt at creating an advantage for the next attack hasn't. So he says, pursing his lips, trying to think of something devious to do. Now that engaging cloaking device in a dark matter nebula is an exercise in futility. So their shields are still up. They've only got minimum power loss. He's going to try again, but not in the way you think. Right, what is it for Helm? Is it the same thing? It is the same thing, but with different for the ship. Ooh, they are not very good pilots. Okay, so the Bird of Prey tries getting a bit more evasive. They try jinking a little bit more and trying to make it harder to hit. Sadly, it seems that they are not as good pilots as you guys are. So, stays at normal. Okay, one of you next.
I think Sobek should use his inspiration to set it up, make it easier to hit them.
Okay.
We're not going to fire.
Well,
No,
Chris can be Captain Sobek and give me a presence and command check to have Captain Sobek make an advantage to make it easier to hit them.
Presence and command. Okay.
So I'm thinking
any of his
make it as easy
focus,
as possible.
inspiration could do, invention,
Cool.
that kind of thing.
That way we have the most dice for damage.
Legion of Honor.
Does he have Legion of Honor?
He does.
We all do.
He does! Good. You'll have to use
Standard
that.
issue for the codes.
Right, so it seems that the presence of the Juve put Captain Sobek off his game a little bit, and he failed to come up with a...
Now we seize the initiative and fire.
Now you seize the initiative and fire. Okay, so knock off 2 momentum, which I've just done. You've created piercing and attack pattern. It's Garrow's turn then, I suppose. Let's reverse the order a bit. Connie, could you be Garrow? Mark, could you be the Combs? And Liz, could you roll me a challenge dice to check whether or not the attack takes any power?
Weapons and security.
It does, okay.
Control and security.
Garrett,
Yes,
do you want to
please.
use determination and momentum? Like, all the dice.
Let's do it. Let's blast them out of the sky.
Fire
Now-
everything!
Yes, yes,
The
yes.
ship can re-roll if it pulls this up, and so
Like
yeah,
that.
we're going to re-roll that. How many re-rolls do we get?
Just the one.
Just the one. I'll do better.
Okay.
Yeah, better, but
It's all down to Garrow.
all on Garrow.
Taking one determination off, taking one momentum off. Whew. Okay.
Control and security. He's got a 1.
Ooh.
Along with that
Garrow's
other one
getting
means he
all
gets
right.
5. Big ol' hit. Right. So. Yes,
Combs
Dick.
can re-roll that dice, by the way.
Just did.
I did.
Oh,
Yeah, it was a
Oh,
19.
oh, I
No,
just see-
13.
no. Sorry, I only see. I only saw the one, and then I saw the other. So my bad. My.
So it would have been a slight case of Nihilil going
Recalibrating.
as targeting sensors are given a bit of extra help, but unfortunately with all the interference even Nihilil wasn't able to assist with that particular shot, but nevertheless it was all on Garrow and he managed it. So let's see, are they close or are they medium phases? They are medium, so it's at optimum range of 2 minus attack pattern of what makes it a 1. You got 5, which means you got 4 over what was necessary. So once again, some or all of that can go into damage, or some or all of that can go into momentum.
50-50?
50-50.
Okay, so 2 back in the momentum pool, which I shall do now. Ba-dum. And Mark, phaser array with 2 extra.
Alright, phaser array first. And then, why can't I... Don't want to reroll all of them.
You haven't rolled the extra ones yet, so...
Oh yeah, with 2 extra ones. Whoops.
Bad, not bad, not bad. So 8 with 3 effects. Nice. So 8 is 5, so knocks their shields down, gives them a bit of a jolt. And the 3 effects means that the spread fire happens, which means 8 is 4, 5, 6 with an extra 3. So yeah, give their shields a right old battering. Give their structure a bit of a shake. So from sensors indicate that they had a couple of consoles explode on the bridge as a result of your shots, but they are still cooking. So one of them goes next. They couldn't set the attack pattern. They've just taken a load of damage. You fired, however, so it gives them time to work on that. So as a result, we're going to try the same thing. With not very good results. It seems you really did hit them really badly on the bridge, to the point that their weapons, their tactical console might very well have taken some damage. Or you might have blown up their tactical officer, as they get no hits whatsoever. Shot just goes wide. One of you can go next. Well, you've got... These guys are on blast legs with shields, but they've got some power, but you've now also got the Hoover coming in. So, what would you like to do?
Blast them another time and just run away. And run.
Now, if you do, I mean, Zhang, Gerkow, Bonnet, and Phlesc are left to go. One of them can try and take a pot shot, maybe, but it will be more difficult to use the tactical system.
Phlesc would be useless for trying to shoot.
Yeah.
Phlesc could try and give us some more power back. Is anyone suited to try and get away?
Yeah, you're a
Bonnet.
helm officer.
Let's try and get away then. We've given him a good blast.
You have. You did cause some structural damage, so it's not as if, you know, they're not bleeding, as it were. So, by all means, Bonnet, we want to get out of Dodge. So this sounds like a regular old maneuver, but some daring might be required for this. So, Chris, if I could get you to be the combs, please, and we're going to look for...
Sure.
What do we want from the ship? Let's go for structure and con from the ship, please. Liz, if you can roll me a challenge dice for the power. No, actually don't, because you are being Bonnet. So, Connie, can you roll me a challenge dice for the power?
Mm-hmm.
Would you mind if I take an extra momentum for another die? Please?
Well, you do keep the power.
Yeah, go for it.
Go for it? Okay.
Plus determination.
Plus
Oh my
determination for 6 successes, 7 overall. That's all your momentum pullback. As, yes, thanks to the way that Tavish has tuned up the engines nicely, you pull away at breakaway speeds. Nice, nice, nice. So, you start very much pulling away from the battle. The ships themselves are just drifting back, but the Huveg is coming in and is joining up with the other ship. As you start pulling further into the cloud, but that's when sensors start registering a dramatic increase in ionized plasma particles. You soon realize that you're getting into a very highly charged area of the nebula. And soon you get an alert as... Cover your ears, folks. It's might be loud. Give me the Star Trek shake. As the ship takes a whacking hit. Or... Oof. Let me see, what was that? Shields decrease by 4 points, power reduces by 2 as the ship gets smashed with a ionized plasma discharge. Now, the Klingons get hit with the same, but now you are basically riding through a storm.
So we're not quite out the way.
You're not quite out of the way, but if it's any consolation, the Klingons are having just as many problems as you are.
Does that mean it takes out that one bird of prey?
It at least takes out their shields and knocks down their power. Whether that continues to be a case is, well, up to you to find out if you want to linger or if you would rather just plain get out of here.
I don't fancy my chances.
Either way, another plasma detonation. Takes out 4 points of power and 8 from your shields.
Right.
Tavish, you want to get the power back up?
Yeah, can do.
Daring and engineering, please.
I'll get the shields back up when time comes around.
19, but we also get a 1, so that's 2 successes. Exactly what you needed to recover power, and in Tavish's case, she doesn't require just... Well, doesn't bring back just 1, brings back 5. So, power does come back. But, as you start raising the power reserves, another blasch goes off. This time only doing 5, which I'll reduce that down to 4, and does knock your shields almost completely out. But I would like Phlesc and Gerkow to both give me reason and engineering, or reason and science, whichever they prefer, anything to do with warp power, plasma power, that kind of stuff.
God focuses.
Yeah, sure.
Alright.
If
Would
Bonnet
warp
would like
theory
to
work?
join in as well, by all means.
Yeah, could I have warp theory?
Sure.
So I've got reason 10, engineering 5.
Sounds like you were
Just
boss.
determining- Cool, I'll lead it. I'll take a momentum. Slide another.
Ooh.
Parent figure.
Okay. Okay.
Where is that? Engineering.
Alrighty, not bad. 1, 2, 3. So it seems that the charged particles in this part of the nebula are being attracted towards your ship's power output. So the fact that your shields are up means it's attracting basically plasma lightning strikes. The fact that your power grid is reasonably high means that it is also attracting plasma power discharges. In order to get through this place without taking any more hits, you're going to have to reduce the power output so that it doesn't attract these. So you're essentially, the ship at the moment is like a lightning rod.
Oh god.
So more power
Well, I mean,
is
the
not
next-
necessarily a good thing.
So don't decrease the power. Do we want to move and the next hit will just do that for us, or do we want to take a turn to reduce?
Or you could potentially try and either modulate the engines so that... actually, that's a thought. Modulating the engines could be a thing to generate enough momentum to push yourselves forwards, and then whoever's on helm can try and guide the thing with thrusters as best as possible. But that's just my thought. If you can come up with something equal, if not better.
Gerkow, can you plot a way, using your statistical probability, plot a route that will avoid these, even though they're being drawn to us?
Yeah. I mean, can we use like the deflector shield to deflect any power that is aimed at us, such as phasers or?
If you try and modulate the harmonics of the deflector, you can try and get it to match the resonance, I suppose, of these plasma strikes. It's not easy, but it's possible. That would certainly lessen to a greater or lesser degree the any damage taken from the plasma strikes. Wouldn't stop them necessarily being drawn to you, but it's certainly an option.
Do we want to do that first before a course is plotted, or are we okay to just swerve and trust the helm?
We could plot the course. The next strike will bring down our power and shields anyway, so we're less likely to draw attack from the plasma storm.
That's true. That's true.
And
Everyone
then
bored with that plan?
Yeah, just plot course.
and then get the hell out of here. Yeah.
Right. Well, it sounds like our con officer gets another attempt. Chris, can you be the combs then, please?
Sure.
structuring con once again to see if the old girl can take it. But then we'll also try and implement Gerkow's deflector related modifications.
Alright, so what is,
Probably sounds like control or daring and con, whichever one you think works better.
Control.
Roll, gotcha. This does require a bit more fine control, what with maneuvering thrusters and impulse at the same, to get the escape trajectory or escape velocity that you want, and that's a very good roll. 4. Cool. So last thing we need then to try and lessen the amount of damage that's done is for somebody like, I don't know, Gerkow, you had the idea of modulating the deflector? Now's the time to do it. Some daring and engineering for you.
Can I use take momentum to use the reading talent?
Sure, absolutely.
Yep, definitely.
Put that down. I count as having an applicable focus. Let's go.
Go for it. And 1 success was all you needed anyway, so you get on what you wanted. Bless you. So there is indeed another lightning strike, but as a result of the modifications, it is significantly reduced in punch. So you get your last remaining shield down, but you only lose a single point of power, but you get enough of a jolt from the engines to start thrusting the cones in the direction of somewhere that's not here. The Klingons are apparently, from what little your sensors can tell at the moment, they're trying to power their way through the nebula, and their ships are just being bombarded with regular strikes. The Klingons don't seem to have the smarts to realize that the more power they put into this, the less they're getting out of it. Nevertheless, nicely done. And so, the combs kind of limps its way through this area. And just uses its own momentum to... Oh, there you are actually. I didn't need to bring you in. As you are proceeding along with as much forward momentum and velocity as you can manage, all of a sudden, the forward velocity of the ship starts to drastically decrease. So whereas you were going a pretty nominal amount forward to start with, your speed, now that you've entered this area and out of that storm, your forward speed is now dropping quite drastically. It doesn't stop, it just seems to slow. What would you like to do?
Let's find out why, so we can address it.
Okay. Well, first things would be probably to examine if there's anything outside that is creating a counter force to your forward momentum, which sounds like a sensor's jobby.
You're up, Gerkow. I can assist if you need with parent figure and warp field dynamics as a focus.
Yeah. I mean, I'll let you use your focus then. I won't like our focus, so yes.
Okay. Difficulty 0 for this one.
Oh, nice.
Okay, 1 success from Phlesc.
Ah, that's why you don't need to assist.
Okay. So... Okay, 2 successes from Gerkow. I'll hold on to that for the moment. Okay, so Phlesc has a look on sensors to see if there's anything outside that's causing more resistance that's you might be passing through that's slowing the ship down. But for the most part, the sensors just returned that it's gases. So it shouldn't make any sense that anything is... There's nothing that you can see that, or the sensors are recording that is slowing your momentum down. As far as Gerkow can tell, there is 2 successes. The engine output is the same as it was. The engines aren't fighting against anything. So sensor readings indicate that the impulse engines are still outputting the same amount of power as they did when you first started moving forwards. So your forward momentum shouldn't be stopping because, you know, space. You keep going until something applies an opposing force in the entirely different direction. But with 2 successes, you do get the reading that there is some abnormal energy readings that you are getting. It's stronger than they were in other parts of the Dark Matter Nebula thus far. In order to identify them, you might need someone with a bit more quantum in their science.
It's just an aversion job.
So let's bring you to deck 1. So anybody with quantum mechanics or quantum physics or anything like that can probably be brought in to help. As has been rightly pointed out, Ensign Aversion is one such. He might be the only one. Let's just check some of the other folks. Yes.
Aversion, help us with this diversion.
It's like Ensign Kenson already all over again, and I still can't stop chuckling. The aversion diversion. Okay, so it looks like it's going to have to be reason and science from Ensign Aversion and Connie, since he's your boy.
Reason and science. Let's go.
I'm not going to tell you what the difficulty is. I want to see how well he does. Oh, well done, boy. All right, there are a number of types of energies and particles in this specific area of the Dark Matter Nebula that don't register properly on sensors, right, you are, Liz? And it takes Aversion to recognize some of them before he breaks out his manual and his expertise on quantum science. Aversion reckons that you've entered into a pocket of the nebula where it's got a breach into another subspace realm. As a result, the laws of physics for this specific section might be different from elsewhere. What this means for everybody, well, I'm afraid we're going to have to wait until next time for that. Because, unfortunately, we've just about run out of time. However, before we go on to our usual sets of goodbyes... Next Sunday, I am unavailable, and so will some of my brethren here, who will be going to a Kung Fu demo. And I will actually be performing at this Kung Fu demo, so pray for me. Which is made even more funny by the fact that the form I'm going to be doing is Mantis. So, yes, pray, Mantis, for me. So, I'm afraid we won't be coming back now until the weekend following, the 28th, where we won't have Mark, I am afraid.
Nope.
So, what...
Go on, Liz.
Without me.
Somebody record Matt and then post it in the chat.
I'll just record some set responses, and we'll just get somebody to I'll get ChatGPT to fill in for me. It's fine. I'm sure nothing could possibly go wrong.
Oh no! record you doing your kung fu and then post it in the chat.
Well, as it turns out, they do usually film these things at the event, but I'll have to ask for Seagung Mouse, or whoever sets that up. We shall see. But in either case, I can't get my words out. In either case, we will not be here next week, so we'll have to wait till the week after, where unfortunately we'll be without our ops officer, so we'll have to make do without. But we should have our security officer back by that point. What laws of physics are we going to have to flip on their head in order for the Combs to get out of this current situation remains to be seen. And will they be able to lose the Klingons on their tail? We shall have to wait and see. Until then... Go on.
Matt, can I change computer expertise for hands-on piloting? Because computer expertise was not what I thought it was.
That's fine, no problem. I have no problem with that whatsoever. As usual, starting characters, if they don't go quite the way you expected and something better comes along, more suited to them, I'm all for it. So yes, absolutely you can.
There's a reason for hands-on piloting.
Yes. It is a much better thing for the Helm Officer. In either case, thank you very much for everybody who watched the stream. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope my crew enjoyed it as well, taking part in this very odd little adventure in a dark matter nebula, being chased by Klingons. But for those who are watching on YouTube, if you did like it, then feel free to use the like button, and if you are feeling generous enough to subscribe to the channel, make sure you select all, because otherwise our friend and partner, the algorithm, might not show the video in your list of notifications, because it's getting even harder to use these days. Nevertheless, I implore you all to do like the Vulcans do, which in this case was very much a case of don't rise to other people's bait. Take it calmly and just walk away, because it's probably not worth it. But also to live long and prosper, and to engage in infinite diversity in infinite combinations. We thank you very much for your attention, folks, and we shall see you in 2 weeks' time. As long as I don't injure myself doing Kung Fu. See you guys, and take care of yourselves as we now close hailing frequencies.